Schedule your appointment. That's 217-735-2317. SIU Medicine, forward for you.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police splatter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
From the Hart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. The news is brought to you by Baum Chevy Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, as well as Connexus, offering fiber internet in Clinton. Click their icon on DeWittDailyNews.com to find out more. The city of Clinton on Tuesday night pushed pause on plans for a toddler park at the Peace Park Roque Court at the corner of Main and Walnut Streets in Clinton. The issue was hotly contested on social media platforms as too dangerous because of its proximity to the railroad tracks nearby. Commissioner Dan Ballinger says the council heard the community's concerns.
I just want to add a little more on the Toddler Park. We did get a lot of comments. Helen received emails. She responded. I got calls, and I just want everybody to know we did listen. And that's why we're doing what we're doing and not going there and looking at a better location. And I agree with, parents that have maybe big kids, little kids, they can't separate. So we're going to try to accommodate it in the same area to where, it's family friendly. So I just wanted to throw that out there. That's all I have.
Thank you, Dan, very much.
While the playground project is paused, council members are shifting focus toward preserving the unique history of the Peace Park Roque Court. Commissioner Tom Edmonds reminds that the park was a massive part of Clinton's history through the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, frequently hosting state and national tournaments.
I think that's a good idea, Dan. And then, too, we need to remember that the Roque Club is a big part of city history. Maybe not for a lot of folks, but way back in the 40s and 50s, 60s, it was a big deal down in that area, which I've lived all my life. And they used to have tournaments there. The Roque used to be part of the state fair. There was a state tournament held here, according to the history that Homer Spitzer wrote. I urge everybody to read that. I know it's probably not of a lot of interest to a lot of folks because with the advent of air conditioning, the Roque kind of gone out of style. But we do have mallets and clubs available for loan at the police department as well as the rules. And I think that's something we're going to start promoting a little bit in discussion with the mayor here in the near future.
Edmonds adds that the court itself has deep roots in local labor, originally built by area railroaders using old rail car parts, while the surrounding fence was salvaged from a local cemetery. He hopes to work with the mayor to better promote the historic site.
But big part of railroading in the community, built by railroaders. A lot of the parts used in the original club were from rail cars or parts. The fence itself is from the cemetery. Bill Gregory finished that. So there's a lot of history, a lot of community support at one time. So let's get it going again. And then as far as the finance, Clinton is working on the conversion. It's a very involved process to convert all the different departments to the main computer. And so it'll work right and make it
Commissioner John Weiss strongly agreed with the push for historical preservation, citing historical records kept by the late Homer Spencer.
He is right about that being some historical part of this town.
Yes.
I would really like to see us. Tom has more information on Mr. Feitzer and the guys that really were there and really worked on that and took care of it. I know we have all the signage for Mr. Lincoln Square and going off to the thing. I think it would be good for the public to be able to have something down there like that with the history of Roque and how that park was really developed and why, and maybe get something made up and put down there as a historical marker to maybe, let people know a little bit about it. The class of '82 has done a really good job. They went in there and did a lot of work on that and donated time and money. And maybe we could just kind of combine that and just let people know a little history of that, just as it is a little park. People had picnics and things, and give them the history on that and how that was developed. I think that'd be something really neat to kind of neat.
The council agreed to seek out a better location for the park. Coming up shortly on this expanded newscast, Farmer City opening community pool for 2026. Even if you missed the Warner Library summer reading kickoff, it's not too late to sign up for the summer reading program. Mel Snow, youth program coordinator at the Warner Library, told the Heart Media Group on the WHOW Morning Show Tuesday that the last day of classes in Clinton was a busy time at the library as students came to sign up for the Summer Reading Club. She notes they've already had over 350 people sign up to avoid the summer slide.
Yes, it was a very busy day. First day of summer reading. Well, Saturday was first day of summer reading, but it was the first day that school was out. So it was very busy after the early dismissal yesterday.
Yes.
It was fantastic. I want to take a second to thank the Friends of the Warner Library because they paid for essentially all of it, which was, we're very grateful. And they volunteered their time to help us staff the event. So thanks to all of our volunteers that came out that day and helped us. We couldn't do without you. But it was so fantastic. We had around 350 people just at the event, which is great. We're just happy that we had such a great turnout and that people are excited about summer reading this year and that people like the prizes because we hope, that's a big motivator for a lot of people to come in. So we're excited to hear the positive feedback.
If you were unable to attend the kickoff event last Saturday, Snow emphasizes that you can sign up anytime before the program ends on July 31st. She recommends keeping track of your reading even before you sign up, as you can backfill your log.
While Saturday was our kickoff party trying to get people excited, that was just the very first day that you can sign up. You can sign up anytime that summer reading is going on, which is May 30th through July 31st. So if you want to sign up July 30th, you're welcome to do that. Just keep track of your reading. Really, we say, even if you come in and sign up late, you could, if you were keeping track of your reading and you don't get into the library, just keep track of it. And then when you come in, you can backdate your log if you've been reading. Just don't backdate before May 30th.
Sure,
because that was the first day of summer reading.
Fair enough.
But yes, we just want to encourage you to read in any way in which we can do that. We're open to. So that's why we let you pick the path that works for you, the reading that works for you. It's self-paced. We don't do it by week. You come in when it works for you. We really try to meet our patrons where they are. So this year, our theme is Plant a Seed, Read. So we have a butterfly, a bumblebee, or a bookworm. And those are the three levels in which, so everyone has the same amount of circles and rows to fill in. It is what you do in which to fill in that circle that changes based off of what reading log you choose. So as a butterfly, it's every book before you fill in a circle. A bumblebee is every 30 minutes of reading. A bookworm is every hour of reading before you can fill in a circle. Still the same amount of circles in each one, just depends on what you choose. When you finish a row, you'll come to the library. You get something from our treasure chest. We have one on the children's floor for younger kids. And then we have teens and adult one on the main floor. You pick something from the treasure chest and you also get a ticket towards our grand prizes. We draw those winners at the end of summer reading, but those tickets are what you turn in towards the prizes you like. This year, though, we are giving extra tickets if you come to programs.
While the prizes for reading are great, Emily Dunham indicates the main purpose is to help students retain the information they learned throughout the school year and keep them developing through the summer.
We have like the Nido basket. J Squared has donated tortoise feeding, a private tortoise feeding at the Miller Park Zoo, which is really cool.
So cute.
We have a ride on Jeep, amongst other things. 24 grand prizes.
Yes. So a lot of the funding for the prizes is going to come from our donors. We have a ton of awesome donors. If you look at our Facebook, you'll see a lot of local businesses on there that donated monetary donations, and then other businesses donated like actual things to us, and then gift cards. And then as far as deciding, we just kind of pay attention to what was popular the last couple of years. So we kind of keep track of how many people put their tickets in for certain things. And then we also ask the people on the Facebooks. So
Sure.
we try to listen to what people are wanting. And like, we have kids too. So we're thinking what was great at this age for our kids, and what would we like to see? And then also trying to tie some of it into our theme and tying it into the library. So like this year we have a Kindle on the table, which is great. So, we're kind of leaning into reading your book. Yeah. Empathy. It helps with math, not only your reading, but the math thing. I think that's so cool.
And memory, just retention of everything you've learned throughout the school year. Like you said, the summer slide is a real thing. So it's like, if you don't use it, you lose it. So just the reading and keeping your brain active, and the 20 minutes or 15 minutes a day is all it really takes. So we've kind of figured out a way to make that work in today's world.
The library will be offering extra prize tickets for attending their programs this summer. We'll have more with Snow and Dunham on the calendar of summer events in the days ahead from the Heart Media Group. In the meantime, sign up for the summer reading program by visiting the library at 310 North Quincy Street in Clinton. Learn more at vwarner.org or by finding them on Facebook. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. Let's take a quick break with a word from our sponsors.
Baum Chevrolet Buick offers full transportation options while giving you peace of mind. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. This is what we do every day. We listen to you, give you options for routine maintenance, major mechanical problems, or collision repairs with a staff that's knowledgeable to find the best option for you. Baum Chevrolet Buick, your full-service dealer. See us at BaumChevyBuick.com right from the start.
It's the quiet moments you count on. A call that connects instantly, a show that never buffers, a home that just works. That's the difference with Connexus Fiber Internet. We built a buried fiber network designed for consistency, earning us the title of top-rated fiber internet provider in Illinois. With plans starting as low as $25 a month and 3-year price lock options, it's reliability you can feel without the unpredictability. Because with Connexus, connection means everything. Experience better at Connexus.com. Nothing connects us like Connexus.
News time is 21 minutes after the top of the hour. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. The Farmer City Pool is almost ready to open for the 2026 season. On the WHOW Morning Show Tuesday, City Administrator Taylor Baxter told the Heart Media Group that they are facing slight delays in opening the pool due to the service that prepares the pool for the year's schedule. That being said, Baxter hopes the pool will open this week.
Yeah, a little bit delayed on our end. We have a company that we work with to help us kind of do the startup and then the winterizing. And they also help a lot of other communities do that with their pools. And, we're kind of stuck on their timeline, but we're getting ready to open this week. We're trying to figure out what day specifically. Our lifeguards were in the water yesterday doing some more cleaning at the bottom of the pool. But yeah, all the chemicals are getting adjusted. One of the big things that we're running into is just staffing with the lifeguards. That seems to be a problem, not only in Farmer City, but across really the country of lifeguard shortages. So we've convinced, and Gracie Schaefer, she is our pool manager, and she's a former lifeguard, former Blue Ridge graduate, and has worked at the pool for a long time. She's managing the pool for us and has done a great job of recruiting lifeguards and bringing some people back that have other full-time jobs that hey, we really, really need you. So we're kind of going through that, trying to figure out scheduling and because obviously with the pool, you can't just open it and say, good luck. We have to staff it and make sure everybody stays safe. So we're working through a couple of those things, but the goal is this week to get that thing open and ready to go.
Finding lifeguards has been a struggle for pools everywhere, and Baxter hopes that they will not have to reduce hours due to being short-staffed but he says it is a possibility.
It's a possibility. That's kind of I mean, if you look at good, better, best option or worse option, I guess I should say is, this is our full slate. We have fully staffed lifeguards. Then you kind of go down, okay, we don't have as many lifeguards, so we're going to limit the hours. And then, the worst option is, we're going to have certain days where we're closed because we just don't have staff. So we're kind of in that middle one right now where we're making do with what we can. There are other lifeguards that are coming on board. It's just they have to go get certified at other facilities,
Right.
and we're kind of limited on when they can go and do that. So
Fair enough. Sure.
we're really just trying to skate by with what we have. And so limited hours might be an option for us,
Okay.
but we're trying to avoid that if we can. I don't want to give a definitive opening date. Realistically, could we be open this week? Yes. I don't know the exact date. But usually 12 to 6 is usually when we're open. I know that's what we were doing last year. And again, that is scheduled to change based on how many lifeguards we have. Don't hold me to that, but that's the tentative schedule and kind of like what we did last year. So we'll see. And
the pool had its fair share of hiccups when it comes to maintenance issues in recent years. Baxter says they had the pool inspected not long ago to find any issues and ensure a smooth summer of pool operations.
Yeah, so we had a guy who this is what his job is to go look at pools and figure out where leaks are, if there are any. And we had him come out in plenty of time before this season started to see how we were looking. And he didn't find any issues because that's one of the major things that I wanted to make sure again is, last year we had a good year, just like you said, Seth, just older infrastructure, things just happen and it's part of the nature of the beast with pools. So far we're good. I don't know, now that we're talking about it, something's probably going to happen. So I'll blame you.
Yeah,
but
sure.
no, we're good. I think we're ready to go.
Yeah.
Water's looking good and
With
we're excited.
Keep up with the latest announcements and news on the Farmer City Pool by finding the community on Facebook. The 98th Illinois FFA Convention is next week in Springfield, and the 99th will also be in the capital city next year. But in 2028, the convention moves to Peoria. Mindy Bunselmeyer is the Illinois Association FFA Executive Director.
We couldn't make it official until we had contracts signed and we had everything in place. And we wanted to make sure, honestly, first and foremost, that we notified our friends here in Springfield first. And I will say that the Bank of Springfield Center and the President Abraham Lincoln Hotel, both of them have served us incredibly well. Their staff, their people are amazing. And we'll miss them a lot. It will take us a while for Peoria to get to know us, and just know the things that they know so well about us. So I really will miss the staff and the facilities that we have had. But in truth, we really have outgrown the space in Springfield. And we anticipate, because in 2028 being the 100th convention, that our attendance will be even higher than what it has been. And with that anticipation, we did make the decision to move to Peoria. And so we're very excited. Peoria has been exceptional in courting us, if you will. And we really are looking forward to making that move. But it will be hard. Like I said, Springfield has been good to us. It's just a mere, outgrowing the space and even just the constraints. The parking has been a challenge in Springfield. And so we look forward to having some issues that we've had in the Springfield location be alleviated with Peoria.
In addition to Peoria and Springfield, Champaign-Urbana and Collinsville also submitted bids to host the Illinois FFA Convention. The IHSA State Bass Fishing Finals are set for this weekend at Lake Shelbyville. The event moved to that location last season after a 15-year run at Carlisle Lake. Chris Schwartz is with the IHSA.
I thought it was an excellent first year for Lake Shelbyville. A lot of limits were brought in, a lot of fish caught. We had, a bass that was over 6 pounds. So anytime you have kids catching fish and you have some big fish caught, that's going to generate excitement. But in terms of just the logistics and the organization, we have so many great groups that help put this on. And, the town of Shelbyville itself is an outdoor community. So they were extremely excited to have us there. Carlisle did an excellent job. And obviously the folks that helped put that on did an excellent job too. But, the shift brings about just a certain level of excitement anytime you have a change in championship venue. And, the Shelbyville community really showed out and just welcomed us with open arms. And you heard a lot of that from the teams that were down there, just the experience they had, the hospitality. And, it really was a great experience. And we're excited to get down there for year 2.
The IHSA created the state series in bass fishing in 2009. Get news anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWitt County's #1 source for news, sports, police blotter, obituaries, and more, all free, all the time at DeWittDailyNews.com.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. He is the leader of the pack so far. Roughly 55% of the vote counted. Trump-endorsed Republican Steve Hilton is in the lead in the California gubernatorial primary. As things stand now, Hilton could face Democrat Javier Becerra in November. Democrat incumbent Karen Bass is in the lead, leading the vote count with Spencer Pratt close behind. That in the L.A. mayor's race. The latest primaries took place in a half dozen states. The U.S. Supreme Court has spoken. Alabama will be able to use a new Republican-friendly congressional map in this year's elections. The Trump administration is throwing in the towel on a proposed $1.8 billion fund to compensate people who say they were prosecuted for purely political reasons. Now, on Wall Street, the Dow futures down 147 points. NASDAQ futures up 64 points. More details, srnnews.com.
Maybe this is you too. There's enormous frustration right now with healthcare costs. It is amazing. Healthcare costs for families in the last 20 years have almost tripled, and it just keeps getting worse. All this to say, this is why MediShare is so in demand right now. People are looking for alternatives, and MediShare is proven you can save thousands of dollars a year and actually like it more. Over 1 million Americans are now part of healthcare sharing, and MediShare is the gold standard. It's trusted. It works. It's been helping people save money and have peace of mind now for 30 plus years. It's not some big impersonal thing either. It's a community of people like you helping each other. So yeah, if you're frustrated too, here's your chance to make a refreshing change. You'll notice the difference as soon as you call. They're easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number. Call 844-45-BIBLE. That's 844-45-BIBLE. 844-45-BIBLE.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. In high school baseball sectional semifinal matchups for today, in Class 1A, 1 seed Arthur Lovington Atwood Hammond takes on the 7th seed Cumberland at Altamont at 4:30, while top-seeded Tremont takes on 7-seed Athens at Illinois Wesleyan at 4:30. Top-seeded Mount Pulaski will play 2-seed Lexington, also at Illinois Wesleyan, at 7 p.m. Then 1-seed Clifton Central takes on 4th-seeded Gibson City Melvin Sibley at Dwight at 2 p.m. In Class 2A, 1-seeded St. Joseph Ogden takes on the 2nd-seed Tri-Valley at Monticello at 2 p.m. And following that game, the top-seeded Maroa Forsyth takes on 2nd-seed Tolono Unity at Monticello at 4:30. The top-seeded Roxana plays 3rd-seeded Williamsville at Pleasant Plains at 4:30. Then the 1-seed Pleasant Plains hosts the 6-seed Alton Marquette at 7 p.m. In Class 3A, top-seeded Chatham Glenwood will play 2nd-seed Champaign Central at Mount Zion at 4 o'clock. And then 1-seed Normal U High takes on 2nd-seeded Springfield Sacred Heart Griffin at Mount Zion at 6:30. 1-seeded Metamora will take on the 2nd-seed East Peoria at Washington at 4:30. And in Class 4A, 2nd-seed Minooka travels to top-seeded Normal Community at 6 p.m. In a game heard on WHOW, Luke Keyshaw and Tristan Gray drove in 2 runs apiece in a bottom-of-the-order attack, and the Minnesota Twins beat the Chicago White Sox 6-4 on Tuesday night to deliver right-hander Davis Martin a rare loss.
Miguel Vargas' sizzling stick stayed hot early Tuesday night as the Sox looked to even their series with the Twins.
Vargas with a base hit to left. Mydross scores. Gritchick rounds third. He's going to score. It's a 2-run single, and it's 3-0 White Sox in the third.
But for only the second time this season with Davis Martin on the hill, that lead did not hold up. Sox lose 6-4 in Minneapolis, and Martin falls to 8-2 on the season. White Sox try to salvage a game on Wednesday afternoon. I'm Jeff Meller, and I'll have your pregame coverage starting at noon on the ESPN 1000 Hard Rock Casino White Sox Network.
The White Sox will pick back up on WHOW on Friday as they begin their weekend series with the Phillies. Pregame for Friday's outing begins at 5 p.m. Jock Peterson hit a tie-breaking single in the 9th inning, and the Texas Rangers beat the St. Louis Cardinals 7-4 on Tuesday night for their season-best 5th straight victory. Peterson went 3 for 4 with 2 doubles and 2 RBIs. Josh Jung also drove in 2 runs, and Kyle Higashioka had 3 hits for Texas. Evan Carter drew a leadoff walk in the 9th, moved to second on a wild pitch by Riley O'Brien, who is 3-3, and third when Higashioka singled. Peterson and Jung followed with RBI singles before Peterson scored on Brandon Nemo's sacrifice fly to make it 7-4. The Cardinals are 2-9 in the regular season against Texas in St. Louis. Cal Quantrill, who is 3-0, entered with a runner on second and 2 outs in the 8th and needed just 1 pitch to retire Ivan Herrera. Jacob Junis pitched a scoreless 9th for his 4th save. J.J. Weatherholt singled for the Cardinals in the 7th and scored on a double by Alec Burleson. 2 pitches later, Jordan Walker's single drove in Herrera to make it 4-all before Rangers starter Nathan Eovaldi was relieved by Jalen Beeks. Eovaldi got his first no decision in 12 starts this year. It was the longest such streak by a Texas starter to begin a season since 2015. Jimmy Crooks hit an RBI single in the 2nd that snapped a string of 28 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings by Rangers starters, the 3rd longest streak in franchise history. Nolan Gorman added a solo homer in the 4th for St. Louis. Carter scored when Nicky Lopez grounded into a force-out, and Peterson's double 2 pitches later drove in Lopez to make it 2-all in the 5th. Higashioka scored on Peterson's sacrifice fly in the 7th. Rangers lefty Mackenzie Gore is 4-4 with a 3.96 ERA and starts Wednesday opposite right-hander Andre Palante, who is 5-4 with a 4.19 ERA in the series finale. Gage Jump pitched 7 effective innings in his first major league win, and the Athletics beat the Chicago Cubs 2-1 on Tuesday night. Nick Kurtz homered for the A's, who have lost 7 of 9. Zach Geloff also drove in a run. Jump is 1-1 and allowed 3 hits, struck out 5, and walked 1 in his 2nd career start. The left-hander, a 2nd-round pick in the 2024 amateur draft, was brought up from AAA Las Vegas when Aaron Savali went on the 15-day injured list last week. Chicago dropped to 5-17 in its last 22 games. It wasted a solid performance by Jamison Talon, who is 2-5, and surrendered 2 runs in 6 1/3 innings after going 0-2 with a 9.82 ERA in his previous 3 starts. The Cubs threatened in the 9th against Scott Barlow, putting 2 runners on with no outs, but Alex Bregman struck out swinging, and Seiya Suzuki flew out before Hogan Harris retired Ian Happ on a fly ball to center for his 5th save. Kurtz connected with 2 outs in the 3rd, tying it at 1 with a 383-foot drive to left center. It was his 3rd homer in 4 games and number 11 on the season. Talon has been hurt by the long ball this year, allowing a major league high 20 homers in his 12 starts. The A's added another run on Geloff's RBI single in the 4th, a 2-out liner over the head of a leaping Nico Horner at second base. The Cubs got 3 of their 4 hits in the first 2 innings. They had runners on second and third with none out in the first, but they only managed 1 run on Bregman's ground out to third. Athletics left-hander Jeffrey Springs is 3-6 with a 4.07 ERA, and Cubs right-hander Colin Rea is 5-3 with a 4.70 ERA. Take the mound on Wednesday night. In scores from around the MLB yesterday, the Detroit Tigers shut out the Tampa Bay Rays 8-0, while the Philadelphia Phillies beat the San Diego Padres 3-2. The Baltimore Orioles beat the Boston Red Sox 4-2, while the Miami Marlins took down the Washington Nationals 7-3. The Cleveland Guardians beat the New York Yankees 9-4, while the Cincinnati Reds beat the Kansas City Royals 4-3 in 10 innings. The Atlanta Braves beat the Toronto Blue Jays 4-3, while the Milwaukee Brewers took down the San Francisco Giants 8-3. The Pittsburgh Pirates took down the Houston Astros 10-6, and the Colorado Rockies beat the Los Angeles Angels 8-2. The LA Dodgers beat the Arizona Diamondbacks 6-5, while the Seattle Mariners took down the New York Mets 8-3. Green Bay's Josh Jacobs is practicing with the Packers while prosecutors consider whether to file charges against the 3-time Pro Bowl running back following his arrest on domestic abuse allegations. Jacobs was on the field Tuesday for the Packers' second week of organized team activities. Packers coach Matt LaFleur said before Tuesday's practice that Jacobs' situation hasn't caused distractions. Jacobs was arrested May 26th in Brown County, Wisconsin, on allegations of strangulation and suffocation and other offenses. Hobart Lawrence Police Chief Michael Rankus said police had been dispatched to a complaint involving Jacobs on the morning of May 23rd. Jacobs had issued a statement through his lawyer saying he vehemently denies the allegations. He was released from a Wisconsin jail on Wednesday during the Packers' first week of OTAs while authorities investigated the case. District Attorney David Lacey says it's too soon to make formal charging decisions. Jacobs rushed for 929 yards and 13 touchdowns last season. The Packers have nobody else on their roster who ran for as many as 200 yards for them a year ago. In NHL scores for the Stanley Cup Trophy, the Las Vegas Golden Knights beat the Carolina Hurricanes 5-4 to take the 1-0 lead in the series. Get highlights of your local high school program by finding IL SportsWire on your preferred social media platforms, and get local sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is staff meteorologist